Do you think that pool is Saratoga water too? Like that he dove into?
Yeah,
I mean that's got to be.
Bro, if you could
that's
just like
got to be Saratoga water too, right?
A phone call, get a guy to go up to 10,000s. Yeah, that's
That
all
dude
Saratoga water.
Woke up at 4 a.m. and still BS'd for 6 hours. Like, I mean, that guy.
Hey,
just
okay. I will give him one thing because everyone's BS for. Part of that was reading some sort of book, Johnny, and I know that you are not on.
That dude wasn't reading.
He was using a book as a prop. Yes. I'm gonna move this a little bit that way.
Oh, I mean, it's just next level. These videos have been coming out for a while, but that clearly struck a nerve because everybody let him have it.
I'm like, this is not the first time I've seen a guy. Well, we'll talk about it. I'm like, this is hey YouTube, welcome to the pre-show.
Welcome to the show. By the way, YouTube, I didn't upload anything correctly. It's not the right thumbnail. It's not the right. There's no description on this video.
Just chill. Just can you live your life?
If you found the stream, thank you, because I don't even know if it. It's all bad. But anyways,
it's somewhere.
It's somewhere. Thanks for finding it. Hello. We're going to start the show. I'm going to hit record, and then I lost everything.
Oh, I should probably hit record.
Me too.
I got to do something for 6 hours and then have someone give me a ice bowl, and then I'll be good.
Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Welcome to the show. Listeners, viewers, there's probably only a couple viewers because I somehow launched the stream and it's not the right thumbnail. There's no description on the video, so it's all bad. But you know what? Look, we take this show very seriously, right? We're dedicated. We've been doing it for a number of years. So gentlemen, it begs the question: how many times have you dipped your face into an ice bath this morning, or just today in general, in preparation for the show?
So here's the thing: I have rubbed my face with a banana daily for the past 10 years. You know this, Aaron.
I do. Yes,
part of like our time in college.
Right.
Right.
You had aforementioned bowl, just a communal one on your desk.
I'm trying to form a bit. I had a bit in my head, and I'm literally watching on Twitter a guy doing handstand, doing into a banana bowl of ice, and
he's waterboarding himself.
He's water. No, it's a banana. It's okay.
Right.
Oh, right. Of course, there's a banana in there. That makes a whole lot of difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my favorite part of the morning at 4 a.m. when we all wake up together and text each other, "Good morning." I'd like 10,000 of those. That's our daily text.
A member of the Atlantic into our group text as we talk about our morning routines.
Oh.
I have a beef with Sam's Club. I was in there today and I was looking for Saratoga Springs water. None to be found.
What?
My morning routine is now ruined. Completely ruined.
What are you going to go to Fiji like a normie? You can get to any 7-Eleven.
Right.
Gosh.
Aaron, I also got ready this morning by levitating in the air for 4 minutes. Just
excellent. As
I do love jumping for 4 solid minutes in the front of my liminal space pool.
All of those not toxically online have no idea.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you don't know what video we're talking about, you think we're insane.
That is...
We're online too much,
we
clearly.
have a podcast and you don't, but derogatory towards us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should have just started the show with the "What We're Following" bumper. Forget the intro. Oh, man.
Let's see. Oh, and sorry, I just went to Saratoga's Instagram and they're 100%
sold out.
Yeah.
Plunge if you must.
Oh,
I bet their stock is through the roof.
Oh, man.
Honestly, the first thing I should have done after I saw that video was look and see if they were publicly traded. Oh my god!
Go to their Instagram, guys. They just put out an oil painting of.
They have to be
Saratoga,
thrilled. Their sales have to be going crazy.
Banana. I want Saratoga so bad. They're New York based.
No,
I
you
can't
don't.
Imagine.
No, you don't.
No,
Josh, no.
one bottle. Give me one bottle.
Okay.
Here, I have a blue cup. I have a blue Mavs cup.
To drink or to put your face in.
It's really like I can't. It doesn't really.
You could. I believe it. I believe in you, Josh.
Yeah, I think the viewers. Oh, okay. I can't because then I'll get the mic wet.
Oh. Well,
but I'm sure you're gonna love editing the air and editing all this ice out of the. This is great podcast material. It's just ice crinkling all the way through.
Correct. Yeah. Well,
it's called. So this is not what I'm following because I know we're gonna talk. We're gonna have some cool interviews later. But this is a Dallas Mavericks cup from a local custard place. They have a signature drink, like ice cream thing there at Andy's Custard. It's the Dallas Mavericks Crunch Dunk Jackhammer. That's the name of their like specialty ice cream, and that is the second most embarrassing thing about the Mavs as in the past month.
Oh, I don't think that's embarrassing. That could be awesome.
Every time I have to order it, I do feel like I'm at a millennial coded like burger place, and I have to like say their weird name for something. Hey, can I get a Crunch Dunk Jackhammer, please? No. I'd rather not have to say
people who actually order the celebrity meals at McDonald's. They have to feel absolutely ridiculous.
Well, yeah, because I don't know why
I have the Angel Reese
I don't know why it's only the Angel Reese meal. I feel like every WNBA player should get their own.
That's true, Josh. That's true. Every WNBA player should get a meal at McDonald's.
I don't know. This is a celebration of the league as a whole.
Absolutely.
And sometimes your signature meal is just 2 packets of salt and a really old packet of hot mustard, and that's okay. We celebrate that.
We celebrate that. Oh no!
You know what, Josh? You just
Aaron,
described this show.
You're gonna have to just butt in right
this
now.
This show is 2 packets of salt and an old mustard container, and you can decide which one of us is what. If we're salt or the old mustard, that's for you to decide, listeners. Yeah, we're off to a great start. Hey, basketball happened. There's my segue. A lot of basketball happened.
Smooth.
I'll just start with how my bracket is doing, because if you look on ESPN, if you look in the Fifth and Goal bracket group, which I think you can technically still join, so if you have a good bracket, throw it in there. Why not? On ESPN, my percentage is 17.9%, which is quite bad. Now, I will say it could be a lot worse. I actually have 7 of my 8 Elite 8 teams still in this thing. So I've just missed a lot of like single kind of 8-9 sort of picks, you know what I mean? So I actually have the potential to do quite well. In my family group, I think there's like 15 of us. I have, despite having a bracket that is 17.9%, I actually have the second highest odds according to ESPN to win that group. So that's my bracket's basically dumb. The only Elite 8 team I lost was Wisconsin. Sadly, BYU took them out. Despite the best efforts of John Tonje, who got like 36 in that game.
Jeez.
Otherwise, I'm hanging on. I mean, I'm still not super comfortable with Houston. But you know what? They cleared the hurdle of Gonzaga. That's a big deal. I don't feel super worried about Purdue, which means that good job, Boilermakers. You won. But look, the 3 of us all picking Houston, it's a miracle that they've made it to the Sweet 16. So that's where my bracket stands. I've got all 4 of my Final Four teams. Maryland is one of those teams, so I barely have all 4 of my Final Four teams. But yeah, and I didn't even have like St. John's in my Elite 8. I actually had Texas Tech beating them. So that's my bracket. But guys, brackets, and we can talk about your brackets as well, because I'm curious how you guys have done. I'll also throw in here the kind of the main storyline from those first 4 days is the teams we have left. We have 7 teams from the SEC. That's a record, most by any conference. we have another handful from the Big Ten. We have another handful from the Big 12. We have Duke, and that is it. No mid-majors. We don't even have a Big East team in the Final 16. So that's kind of an underlying storyline, but I'll throw it over to you guys and get your thoughts on what we saw from those 4 days.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways I had was we need to go ahead and just do 15 SEC teams if we're already here. I think it rounds up nicely. I will say this is a very. Oh, did you?
I gave you a buzzer.
Thing?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I saw the face. I didn't hear it, but I saw the face.
It's so quick it doesn't make it over to you guys, which is sad because you have no idea how often I'm just sounding the wrong buzzer when you guys talk.
I assume it's most.
Yes.
It's just you spamming the no button.
Correct.
No, I saw. We know that, and this is not the only issue, but guys, the transfer portal for basketball opened up.
Yeah.
For basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Uh-huh.
And at least with football, I know we talked about this a little bit. I think we can all agree, at least on this podcast, that maybe pushing the transfer window back, or pushing it forward rather, might be a good idea in football. But it makes sense, right? It's the transfer portal's semester based,
right?
So we've seen that with some of the playoffs, the extended playoffs. It's messy. But there is a fundamental reason for it. Guys, for basketball, it just opened up. Like, this is March has been a meme for like 10 years. Everybody knows what happens in March with college basketball. Like, there's no confusion as to when the college basketball season ends. We sleep in May. This has been a thing. I don't know why historically this has been a thing anyway, but specifically, especially with all of the NIL discussions we've had, the lack of regulation, my fear is, as I think others are having as well, is that the unregulated nature of NIL plus the very early opening of the transfer portal has contributed to maybe a lack of mid-majors. Now, is it 1 year and we're not going to extrapolate beyond 1 year? Absolutely. I'm not sounding the panic alarms yet. Again, we've not even finished this. We've just got out of the first weekend.
Right.
We're not going to... It's so fun to catastrophize, but I'm not going to do it today. I have to save my energy for other things I catastrophize later. So for this one, I can't. But there could be a very unfortunate trend. A lot more chalk than people predicted, but listen, it's going to happen. Stop watching buzzer beater compilations on YouTube. Sometimes it's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. Also, can we stop having like 9 streaming services? I couldn't watch many games because I don't have that many free trials available. I burned my Fubo free trial on 24 Hours of Le Mans, so I can't. That one's gone.
Right.
Josh, what's the word you use? Catastrophize. I am going to catastrophize.
Thank you.
I'm actually with everybody who's kind of freaking out, because it's the same concept as the new expanded playoff. Welcome to the new playoff, everybody. Your Cinderella is NC State last year, and it's Arkansas this year. That's your new type of Cinderella that we're going to have more frequently. It's going to be the 9th or 10th best team in a league that slips into the tournament and has just gotten healthy or just gotten hot, and they're going to make a run at it. And part of the issue is, Josh, you mentioned NIL. That's certainly a piece of it. Think about these guys, they go to High Point or Lipscomb or UC San Diego, and they have a really good 3-point percentage. I mean, are you kidding? And especially with the size and scope of Division I as well, there's guys looking for that. You shoot like 38% from 3, they're going to go snag you. Someone is. They don't care what level of Division I you are playing. So if you're at Wofford and you shoot almost 40% from 3 that year, somebody's going to come get you. It might just be Wake Forest, but you're taking, they might not be going to Duke, but you're taking away from Wofford that 3-point shooter. So then when Wofford does make the tournament still, they're not as whole or complete of a team as when they go up against Arizona, and they're incapable of pulling that upset off. Me and Aaron watched several games together, and one thing I remember you said after I think just the first day or two of games, Aaron, was just like, the opportunities are there. They're just not hitting their shots, specifically threes.
Yep.
And I think part of that is the analytic nature partnered with NIL and the transfer portal, where these kids, you guys remember how many Division I schools there are for basketball. Like it's over 300. These kids aren't going professional in basketball. They're going to be your accountant in a few years, or at your car dealership, or whatever. So if they can make a few bucks, they're going to. And I don't fault the players for this, but they're getting ransacked, these smaller schools.
Yep.
Like, what are the schools that you saw have some of the best years in mid-major this year? Drake, who brought a bunch of their own players from I believe it's Northeast Missouri State.
Northwest, I think.
Northwest Missouri State. Thank you, Aaron. It was UC San Diego, who wasn't even Division I not too long ago. Most of these are the exact same players who stayed the whole way up. And those are probably your two best, mid-majors this year, like true mid-majors this year. St. Mary's doesn't count. And so I am concerned. I am very concerned. And it's not one thing. It's the multiple. It's the multitude of all of those things. And I am concerned, like that the power is not being sent to the SEC and Big Ten just in football anymore. It seems to be shifting in everything. Clearly, the Big Ten was a little underrated this year. I think mostly that's because they just don't have an elite team. They have a lot of very good teams in the Big Ten. Meanwhile, the SEC has 3 excellent teams that could all probably win the title this year. I think that's just the difference between the conferences this year. Big Ten actually had good depth, very good conference overall, just not elite.
Yeah.
But I'm really concerned because even the ACC can't keep up other than Duke. Big 12 is going to keep up. Those are basketball traditional schools. They're going to figure that out in the Big 12, and they did just fine. But I'm concerned. I'm very concerned about Cinderella's, because that's what makes the tournament special. And I know a lot of people last thing, I'm sounding like a Debbie Downer. I see a lot of people like, this is the worst March Madness ever on social media. And we all know social media is not real life. Most people are enjoying the tournament. It is one of the more
anticlimactic.
Thank you, Aaron. That's the right word. It is one of the more anticlimactic marches that we've had thus far. Mm-hmm. It certainly has. I think that's fair. Now, you could question whether we're due or it's a trend. I do think it's a trend. It's still March Madness. It's still college basketball. It's still been crazy fun 4 days of college basketball. So I still have rather enjoyed it. So you could say like it's been anticlimactic or it hasn't been as good as other years, while still saying this is awesome. So I don't think those are mutually exclusive things, but I'm worried.
Yeah, I think worried's the right place to be. There are people like Stephen A. Smith out there that are like, this is the death of college basketball. Listen, Stephen A. Smith.
Give me his paycheck and I will make that same exact statement.
Right.
I'm here to tell you right now.
I'm very happy.
We don't care. Let me tell you something.
I'm going to Stephen A. Smith. To your point, Josh. Yeah. Because Stephen A. Smith can say that. To your point, Josh, he's paid very, very well to articulate his thoughts on a number of different things, mostly sports. Mm-hmm. Stephen A. Smith cannot name you a single player on a mid-major. I'm going to take that to the bank. And I'm not throwing shade at him. He's not... What is he supposed to do in his free time, quote unquote, between the NBA and his shows and the Stephen A. Smith show and all this stuff? Like, to a certain extent, expecting him to have good analysis, like in-depth analysis on anything, is not realistic considering what he does. So he can sit there and say, this is the death of college basketball. The reality is, and again, I'm not putting any stock in this at all. I'm just kind of throwing it out there as an observation. The ratings for the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, and Championship game are about to be the best we've ever seen because of the teams that are there. Now, is it kind of boring? Yeah, I would say so. I personally get more excited if, say, a Colorado State wins that game and is a 12 seed. Sure, I think we're all on the same page with that. The upside to this is that, I mean, let me just read you some of the matchups here. I mean, Auburn, Michigan is going to be unbelievable. Mississippi, Ole Miss playing Michigan State. By the way, it's possible we could get a Michigan State Elite Eight. That'd be insane. Florida, Maryland, unbelievable. Texas Tech, Arkansas, sure. Give me that Southwest Conference back. Duke, Arizona. Yeah, Caleb Love playing Duke again? Yes, please. BYU, Alabama, great. First one to 1 billion wins that game. Houston, Purdue.
I love that. Pick the over.
Yeah, awesome. Kentucky, Tennessee. I talked to a Kentucky fan today, and he is not excited about the possibility of trying to beat Tennessee a third time. I can't blame him, but the matchup itself is great. Of course, I wish there was more upsets. We saw seeds 1 through 4 make their way, all of them, all 16 of them, make their way through the first round with no issues. So that's where we are. College basketball is not dying, but like college football, it's going to look very, very different. We are going to, in a few years, be the people that are scrolling on whatever social media exists at that time saying, oh man, remember when VCU won a first 4 game and then went all the way to the Final Four? Oh, remember that Florida Atlantic team playing San Diego State? Because those kind of runs probably are dead in all likelihood. Because their best players year after year, more so than ever, are going to be on a different team. And how do I know that? Because the 3 players on that Florida Atlantic team are all in the Sweet 16, all on 3 different teams. Yeah. So it's a new era we're stepping into. College basketball is not dead. It's never going to die. By the way, if you love mid-majors, I'm here to tell you they start playing basketball in November. I'm also here to tell you that 28 of the 32 teams in the NIT, which is nationally televised, mid-majors. So if you love mid-major basketball, I know it's not the same thing as them competing side by side on somewhat level playing field as much as it could have been. Those days are gone probably. But mid-major basketball is still out there, and we can celebrate the rare upsets we do get. In a lot of ways, it's going to be like the women's tournament. Like, you know, the women's tournament historically has just been absolutely dominated by the top seeds in their tournament. It makes it exciting when there is an upset. It's not quite the same feel, but you do get the juggernaut like UConn, South Carolina matchups in the Final Four, or the Iowa, LSU kind of matchups, which are really highlighted and draw an insane number of viewers. I think we're probably leaning more towards that, where you have some more juggernauts that are there every single year. It's just going to be different. It's going to take some time getting used to, but that's probably where we're at with all of this.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's sad. It's sad. I hope I'm wrong. Not that probably needs to be said. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that when we finally get some structure with NIL, with the transfer portal, it might help stabilize this. And this could ultimately just be a small window of kind of chaos. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what that legislation finally ends up being. And until then, I guess that's why I say worried, because like Stephen A., it's going to be dead. Like, it's a little too extreme because the current rules are clearly not permanent. So we have to figure out what those permanent rules are before we can truly forecast forward. As far as my bracket, nobody really cares a ton, but I'll give you just where I was right and where I was wrong, like at least the most right, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Like Ole Miss and BYU, spot on by me. Really good with those. Like Ole Miss destroyed Iowa State. I was just worried about Iowa State because of the injury. Like, it's just not a healthy team. That doesn't take anything away from Ole Miss. Padula's been awesome from the outside, but they play Michigan State coming up in the Sweet 16. They're going to need another performance like that. And Michigan State got woken up by that New Mexico team. And then I was very right with BYU. BYU, another 6 seed knocking off Wisconsin. That was an epic game. Aaron, you mentioned Tonje, like he was phenomenal. Wisconsin shouldn't have even been in that game except for him. So that was so good. But BYU won that. I had BYU. I had BYU continuing actually to beat Alabama. That I'm not so, I'm not certain or so sure about that one. Like Aaron said, first one to 100 probably wins that game. But I'm excited to see that. What games I was probably most wrong about, like everyone though, I picked a bunch of upsets in the first round. Honestly, if you have somebody who's like 98% right in their bracket, they are no fun. They are no fun because that means they pick no upsets. So you can boo them. You have my permission to do so. Everybody should have at least a few whiffs. But I picked High Point to go all the way to the Sweet 16. Clearly that didn't happen. They couldn't shoot the three well. And then I also had UC San Diego. That one I don't feel as bad about. Gosh, they were close on that upset against Michigan. They came all the way back in that game. I was sad that they couldn't pull it off, but those are my two big whiffs. I did have St. John's in my Elite Eight. That's my one Elite Eight team that I've missed, but the rest is still intact so far.
Josh, how alive is your bracket?
I'm okay. I was just checking. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. 10 of my sweet 16 potential teams are still alive, so
Okay.
I'll round up.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I will say being a hater is funny on a podcast, and then when you see Tennessee continue to do what the national media did predict them to do,
Right.
game after game, I do go, oh. Sometimes the bit, but see, Johnny just disconnected his headphones.
Yeah,
so.
he's gone. He's
I'll give him
unbelievable.
props right now. And this is
Too
why
late.
Johnny said
You had
no.
to be quicker.
But yeah, I had to be faster than that. But no, Johnny said same thing. You got to have some whiffs, and I will say for
if
picking,
you didn't have whiffs,
for
you're
picking-
boring. You're boring. I have to tell you that.
I completed my bracket in under 5 minutes, and I'm at 56.8%.
Yeah.
It's not the worst.
better than
I'll
average.
live.
Better than
Better than
whatever
average.
17 terribleness I'm at. So
I am losing
I guess I didn't
in
even
my
look at
family
my
group chats.
percentage.
So
I'm 82 and a half.
always.
wow, Johnny.
Hey.
82.5%
Wow.
right.
There it is. No,
Combined,
Well, I
we
just
almost
picked
make
those
100.
little-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which one is this?
almost.
Well, I'm fourth. I am fourth currently in the 5th and goal
Okay.
group.
All right.
And third place had St. John's winning. So I'm
Oh.
basically in third
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
obviously they're going to fall aside. So if Houston wins the national title, I probably do win
Okay.
because those in front of me have Florida and Auburn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most
Oh my goodness,
likely.
We have someone at 99.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah,
Rob.
Rob's boring.
Oh my.
Boring.
Okay.
Sorry,
But
Rob.
I'll
You're boring.
take boring too if I'm at 99.1%.
I'll
Good
take-
grief.
Yeah, what was his wrong pick? His one wrong pick?
Oh my gosh.
He had St. John's in his Elite Eight too.
Oh.
Still.
He had several first round games wrong, but he really didn't miss a lot. Like consequential games.
Yeah.
Good
Well-
job, Rob.
I'll tell him that later this week. You're boring.
Yeah. He's getting picks correct. You know who's not getting picks correct?
Sometimes the guys make picks based on their vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
After much soul searching, after looking at a map, I have come to the conclusion.
Okay.
It's the Cavs. The Cavs. My Cavs, Josh. That's who you have, right?
It's the Cavs. It's the Cavs over the Nuggets. Yes, you got me.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
Well, yeah, we didn't get a lot right in picks of the week. That shocks absolutely nobody. Johnny, do you want to give us an update on something we picked 3 weeks ago at this point, the Alaskan Iditarod?
Yes, the Iditarod. So it did finish on March 17th. We
Oh.
know that was last week, but it's like Alaskan time and
Yep.
that's the night of and everything. So it actually finished after the show, I believe. Anyway, though, the winner was Jesse Holmes, first time winner of the Iditarod. Nice job, Jesse. But more importantly, who we picked. And we only gave points for us picking the actual winner, not for the person who finished best. We did talk about that. So none of us are in the top 10, just to let you all know right off the bat. Aaron finished the best with Nicholas Pettit at 12. So good job, Aaron.
Nice.
I'll take that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Minus 10, it's that second place. It's pretty solid.
That's right.
Mine, Jason Mackey, finished 16th. He finished roughly how far behind yours? Oh, he finished the next day. It finished on the 17th, but Nicholas Pettit finished on the 15th. Jason Mackey finished on the 16th.
Oh.
So obviously the Iditarod is it's a very long race. So not everybody even finishes on the same day. And then Josh, what would you like to guess yours finished?
No, I saw what Quince did.
Oh, you did? Darn it. So Quince did not finish. So me and Aaron were discussing while we were waiting on Josh whether that deserves a negative point for not finishing. Now, we didn't discuss that before we started. I think that was a missed opportunity. We should have discussed that initially. But congrats to the Iditarod. Honestly, if you just finished, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So pretty cool for those guys.
Yep. Our current scoreboard, one of the reasons we're probably not going to take a point away from you, Josh, is we do like to have a good quality competition. And if we did, you have 6 points, Johnny's got 7, I've got 8. So we don't want to also 8, 7, 6. That just that's fun. So we're not going to send you back to 5. That would be mean. We want you to have just as good of a chance to win the You're Done It star as anyone else on this show.
And Johnny and I need to at least switch positions. I'm happy for it to go to you, Aaron, but I know Johnny wants to go to the 3.5 star rated Birmingham, Alabama based Waffle House that I have saved.
The dream is alive.
Maps.
Right.
The dream is alive.
Sometimes
Johnny, you say that as if you didn't get the Major League Baseball pick right from last week. You could have picked that worse. You could have said,
"Oh, right, I have to finish last."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, if I win, I'll also go. So unless I finish medium, I'm going.
Oh.
All right.
If I finish in the middle, I do nothing. But if I finish first or last, perfect. I'll go.
You know what we need to do, Aaron?
Tank?
Most medium.
No, we can't.
Oh, you're right.
Because he needs to stay mid.
You're right.
Where
you're
I'm at
right.
now is exactly where you
yeah.
Oh, no.
Josh, would you like to take that minus point now?
No, I'm actually going to just mirror you this week.
No, you can't pick the same thing. No.
Yep.
That's true.
How dare you?
We picked the same thing as Johnny.
How dare you?
We did pick baseball last week because last week, in addition to all of the basketball, there was the Tokyo series for Major League Baseball. The Dodgers did, in fact, win both of those games. That is what Johnny predicted. I predicted a series tie. Josh, you predicted the Cubs to win both. Bold. That did not happen.
I was really feeling something last week.
I mean, the
Didn't
Dodgers
even need Mookie Betts.
And Freddie Freeman didn't even play. The Cubs walked 15 batters in 18 innings. That is not a recipe for success, and it was not successful. They only scratched across, I think, 4 runs in the 2 games. So, again, there are 160 games left for the Cubs to figure things out, but for a team that has struggled to get past 500, that they've kind of been stuck in that the mid purgatory, if you will, where Johnny's stuck currently, and we'd like to keep him there. Not a great sign. Now, the Dodgers, I think, are just going to be outstanding again this year. They have only improved their pitching roster, I think, as a whole. That staff looks good. I mean, Sasaki, 3 innings, 5 walks. Was clearly a little bit nervous getting his debut in Japan. Kind of like what we saw with Yamamoto last year for the Dodgers, if you remember that. I think he's going to be fine. That dude was throwing 100 right out of the gate for the Dodgers, so that's just yet another. I mean, their rotation is just stupid. It is stupid. I mean, Tyler Glasnow might be like pitcher 3 or 4, which is ridiculous.
They're really leaning into Japan too, which big time.
Good for them.
Money and talent.
Yes.
I don't know why I get the Japanese players would rather go to LA. Like, 1, it's LA. 2, it's much closer to home. So like it will be much harder for other franchises, I think, to get Japanese born players because like Ichiro, Seattle Mariners. Right. Like if you're not on the western half at least of the US and specifically on the Pacific Ocean, I think you're just going to have a harder time getting some of these Japanese players as well. So, I mean, credit to the Dodgers, but they also are just in a prime location for it too.
Yeah, it's going to, I mean, we have opening day officially for everyone else this Thursday as we're recording. I think that's going to be the storyline. Is there a team out there that can actually go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers over the course of the season and over the course of the playoffs? And even last year, we were having the same conversation. We're like, oh, the Dodgers might win 120 games and just destroy everyone. That didn't even really happen either. I mean, they were great in the regular season, but the Padres gave them all they could handle in the postseason. The power of friendship, it works in mysterious ways in the baseball postseason. So we'll see. But I'm intrigued. We talked about it last week a little bit. I don't hate the Dodgers. I think what they're doing is super, super smart given the parameters of how the salary works. They're doing it to a T. Maybe they're horrible in 10 years because their entire salary is spent on players that aren't even there anymore. But I mean, wouldn't you sacrifice a little bit of the future if you're guaranteeing yourself a trophy or 2 or 3 or 4? We'll see what happens there.
Every fan base would say yes to that if they were being honest.
Yes, correct. So we are not picking baseball, but we will talk a little bit more about some baseball things you should be keeping an eye out for. But today we're going to pick some basketball because we actually never officially picked any official March Madness thing, or at least NCAA tournament for picks of the week. So that's what we're doing here. So today we have to take a lower ranked seed and we have to pick an upset. There weren't a lot of upsets in rounds 1 and 2, but we're banking on a couple of upsets happening in the Sweet 16 or beyond. Obviously, it makes the most sense to pick the Sweet 16 matchup because that's the matchups that we know are actually happening. So I do not feel good about this at all. But because it's on my bracket, I'm going to go ahead and say that Maryland takes down Florida. I don't think it's going to happen. I actually had UConn taking down Florida, and they got close. Maryland is, I just don't see it because I think UConn had some of the guard play. Maryland, great talent, obviously. It's not an accident. They are where they are. But that Florida offense is just a buzzsaw. So I'm not confident. I don't think this is going to help me increase my lead, but give me Maryland over Florida just because it's the one thing I could maybe still get right on my 17% bracket.
I was going to say, this is also a pick I have, so I won't match you, Aaron. I do have Maryland over Florida because I think at that point I stopped giving the SEC any, at least in the West, any sort of...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's why Josh is struggling on that percentage.
Listen, being a hater is a full-time job, and being a hater does not always pay dividends.
It requires sacrifice.
It requires sacrifice. Thank you, Johnny. To be a true hater, you have to be willing to accept the losses that come with being a hater. I'll go ahead and take Arkansas over Texas Tech.
Josh, I appreciate and value your hatefulness.
Of course. Even as
I just want you to know that.
In the same breath, contradict myself by picking an SEC team.
Southwest teams. 2 Southwest teams. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for reminding me of being a good hater.
Yes. And I mentioned it earlier. My pick will be according to what I had in my bracket, which was this matchup, number 6 BYU against number 2 Alabama. Is it super likely? Perhaps not. But there has to be a little bit of chaos somewhere. That's why we're picking this. Is it the craziest thing in the world for it to be BYU in the Elite Eight? Like, no, not really. But still, 6 seed, big upset, taking out a potential national title contender. Alabama's plenty good enough to win the national title. BYU's a 5.5-point dog. Like, also, in my player bracket, I have... Padula. So I need Padula to stay alive for me to have any chance in that bracket as well. So I think this would give me an edge over people in general. So let's go with BYU, number 6 over number 2, Alabama.
All right.
Or not Padula. Sorry. Saunders. Padula's Ole Miss. I want that to happen too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm currently first in that player pool. It's not going to last because Tanjay and Biddle from Oregon are gone. So,
yeah. Shellstad. Or Oregon, why couldn't you make your free throw?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Before we leave, real quick, just want to give a quick Benintendi update.
Oh yeah.
He is currently at. Just want to make sure we're all aware.
I forgot
he's still at 0.
about that. What were we even? What's the?
Wait, he's still what, Josh?
He's still out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken hand.
Oh no. I'm trying to remember. I know we were
It'll
going
be
to buy.
longer.
But that was 3
It'll be
weeks
longer.
ago.
Yeah.
So
It'll be longer.
No, I basically have him. I think his he had 20 home runs.
That
last
sounds
season,
right.
So I think we're gonna do. I'm going for 21 this year.
Okay. And I'm trying
So
to
every
remember
now
if
and
he
then I'm just
doesn't
gonna
get
butt
there,
in.
are you buying the $500 jersey? Is that what we decided? I don't even remember our original conversation.
I don't remember that.
Okay, I can't remember what the was it just that we were following how many home runs he had? I don't know. I'm gonna. Have to go back
we
and
can
listen
make
to
up. We can make up some stakes. That way, I
Yeah.
get punished for my Josh guarantee.
Great guarantee.
I don't
And
even
no,
remember.
my punishment is I'm following the White Sox.
Well, you're not
Oh,
wrong.
Aaron, next week, I know it's too late. This is what we should have picked instead.
Yeah.
Next week, we should have to pick how many games the White Sox win this year.
I mean, we can pick that right now.
I can do it today.
It's our show, Johnny. There's no one that's telling us that.
Aaron has
we
control
can't
over
do
I
that.
don't know. Archer's
I know.
giving me a side eye. I don't know.
Oh, well, now if the mascot says we can't,
Well,
then-
no. Well,
He always gives me a side eye. That's pretty usual. It's weird if he's looking at me normally. How many games did they win last year again? It was a record.
Oh boy, it was in the 40s. Let me pull it up. Now, here's the
48.
question. While I'm looking this up, is a point being assigned to the player with the closest
They were-
total?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they were
I'd just say
41 and
closest.
121.
41.
Oh.
Oh.
They got to win more than that. It's
That's
just not
a-
possible
That's
to
a
win less.
.253. There are people with a better hitting percentage than the White Sox have the 2024 record.
Oh, then their win percentage. That's horrifying.
Yes.
That's horrifying. Excuse me,
People
but
hit
they're
more
they're
home
still
runs.
so bad. They're going to be playing
not like-
basically
yeah.
their AAA team. Give me 55.
They said no. Yeah, they said no changes on the roster. Say, what'd you
Oh,
say,
55, Aaron.
55?
Aaron's going big improvement.
Yeah.
I'm
Big
going with the-
improvement. That's
I'm
a
going with the most-
14 win improvement, right?
Yeah.
You
and
said
still
41.
107 losses. No, that's not
Wow.
how math
Well, that'd be
works.
quite
Is
the
it?
year.
Yeah, that's how math works.
celebrating.
107.
Yeah, you celebrate 55 wins this
Yeah.
year.
Throw that parade.
Josh?
I'm going to go with the most embarrassing number.
Oh, no.
I'm going with 45.
Oh, I was thinking 45 too. Okay.
Yeah. Which in my mind is the worst number because that's not enough to actually really celebrate because it's not going to be discernible. 55 wins, you can feel that.
Yeah, that's
As a
good.
fan base. You're not going to feel 45. I
No.
assure you.
No, that's 2 weeks left in the season. People are cheering for you to lose again, like last year.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's the
Well,
Pistons
I'll split the difference then. I'm 49. I'll go 49 because
Okay.
I was thinking like we were all thinking pretty similarly. Aaron's the most optimistic about
Yeah.
the White Sox season.
It's
with
sad to say that
55 and
55 wins is
107.
optimistic. Oh,
Yeah. The
Oh
optimistic.
man.
oh no. I'm trying to see.
Can
Can I
we
get the
guess
odds
host?
of them winning the World Series, or is
Can we
that
guess call?
gosh.
just?
Can we
Did they
guess call
bother?
one of their games?
Oh, well, me and Aaron, maybe. Yeah.
I'll fly up.
Josh,
Listen.
you down
What
for a
else have they-
sideline reporting job? You sit in
Oh,
the dugout and talk to
100%.
him. You are
Oh.
made to be a sideline reporter, my
I
friend.
will 100%. Is water wet?
Oh, I found a number.
Hey,
I found a
oh,
number.
what is it?
And by the way,
What's
here's
the
why.
odds of them winning
Here's why I
series?
think they're going to be slightly better because Vegas actually backs me up on this. 50,000 plus 50,000. Now they are joined by, and here's why I think they may be slightly better. They are joined by the Rockies and Marlins, who are both at 50,000. The Nationals are 30 plus 32,000. The Athletics, which again, no city
That's
name
true.
associated.
Oh, yeah.
They are
Bad.
officially called the Athletics this year. 21,000, which honestly
Boo.
seems high. But I do think there are worse teams out there, and I know they're mostly playing in their division, which could be a decent division with the Guardians and with the Tigers, who made their big postseason run last year, and the Twins shouldn't be all that bad either. but I just think maybe they'll get a couple more games against the likes of these teams. The Angels you could throw in there. I think the Pirates could still be bad-ish.
How many wins would have they gotten if they were in the AL East instead of the Central?
AL West even.
Last year.
Yeah. But yeah, or
That's
the
true,
East.
too.
I mean, it was all,
But specifically the
gross.
East, what do they win? 28? Like, they win less, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you put them with Baltimore and Boston
right.
and New York,
Right.
like, oh my gosh. Like, they don't win as many. Not like the Central's terrible, but
Well,
goodness.
imagine the NL East. Like, I'm looking at World Series odds for that. Braves plus 900, Phillies and that's third place, by the way, basically third highest odds. Phillies plus 1100. They like the Mets at plus 1100 with that splash signing of Juan Soto, and
all the money.
yeah. Whew. Yep.
The guys spent hours scrolling social media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
The real ones know that we would call it ooey pooey.
Ooey pooey.
R.I.P. to ooey pooey.
Ooey Pooey's the
Got you.
answer.
I didn't even need to.
Yeah, never
done.
mind.
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Oh, as always, you can count on us to be following some dumb things. So I wanted to do a follow-up to what we talked about last week, which was the Dallas Mavericks being incredibly injured. I did say that we were going to talk to Nico Harrison. We're having some technical difficulties with that, which I'll explain next week, hopefully.
Maybe next. Yeah, we'll talk to him next week.
Yeah,
maybe.
but he's still around. He's still eager to be on the show. So I know I teased it last week. We're pushing it to next week. He's a busy guy right now. But I stumbled across this. Now, this is as of March 14th, so there's been some change to this. But you think of the Mavericks, and we talked about them literally at risk of forfeiting games as we get closer to the end of the season because of some of their two-way contracts with G League players that can only play a maximum number of NBA games. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, well, gosh, they are the most injured team in the league. And I'm here to tell you, they're not, at least as of March 14th. Again, this has changed a little bit, but at that time, just a week ago, basically, the Dallas Mavericks have an injured salary of $107 million, which is insane. That's 61.25% of their team. What if I told you, and again, this is when I think LeBron was out and maybe Luka too, the Lakers had $148 million of injured salary, which was 79%, but that's not even the highest number because the Philadelphia 76ers have an injured salary of $164 million, which is 96% of their salary, which means
Process is over.
Well, yeah. And who could have called that? Us, when we told you all into the ether, hey, the Sixers should trade Joel Embiid, which they did not, and here we are. So
I had a conversation with someone this week who legitimately said, "Is like who genuinely would have thought that AD would have gotten injured on his first game?" And I had to hold my tongue.
Who could have thought?
I mean, maybe I would have been like, not the first game. Like, maybe not the first game.
Maybe
like,
not finishing out the season. Like, I'll say he won't. It was gonna be like in the back of my mind. Oh yeah, if I'm writing the sitcom script for this,
right.
I'd have him get injured on his second play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's insane. By the way, at that time, so here's just some dollar figures for you for the Sixers. If you're asking how in the world did they get to 96%?
They're doomed.
Kyle Lowry, $3.3 million. Eric Gordon, $3.3 million. You've got Joel Embiid, obviously, in there. Jared McCain, rookie, first-round pick last year. He's been out for most of the year, $4 million. Quentin Grimes, that's another $4 million. Tyrese Maxey was injured at this time, $35 million. Paul George, $49 million. Andre Drummond, $5 million. Kelly Oubre, almost $8 million. So, yikes. That is just horrible. So I wanted to mention that last week. I didn't get to it because we were probably being stupid about something else. But yeah, so tough times. I'll also say we are less than a month away from the NBA playoffs, and I'm happy to report my Detroit Pistons and Johnny's Cavs, obviously, as long as they remember how to win by the time April rolls around.
It's not going well right now.
Yeah. But the Pistons are very solidly, not just in the play-in, they're past that, very solidly on the 6th seed line. Maybe they can improve, but they're like 5 or 6 games ahead of the 7th seed spot. So we're talking about Detroit basketball in the playoffs, not just as an 8 seed. I think the last time they made it was when they were an 8 seed, and I believe that was a Cavs team, and they got obliterated. So I don't know if they win a playoff series, but the fact that they're going to be in the playoffs with a real chance to win their opening round matchup is really, really exciting. So anyways, yeah, that's what I'm following, is a lot of hoops, even more so than just March Madness.
I hope you guys are hungry.
I am.
I'm starving.
I was trying to come up with something a bit more profound, but hungry.
Josh, you don't have to. It's us you're talking to.
It's hunger.
Food?
Hungry? Yeah,
yes.
great.
My response.
Josh, our prizes up until this point have all been food related. Like, what do you mean? Like,
how about, I mean, and so here, and you guys were just in Texas, relatively speaking. I drove you by Globe Life Field, and you saw, wow, what a weird design, but hey, they won a World Series out of it, so how bad could it be?
True.
It's great when it's AC. It's beautiful.
no,
you gotta eat something when you're there.
Elements.
Open that roof.
Need to have.
Open it.
That roof. Maybe you guys could come back and we'll watch a game. We'll watch them, play to the Reds. Something fun, and we can all get our individuals, or we can share the new boomstick burrito that the Rangers are launching this year. If you remember last year, I believe it was the boomstick burger, and it was like 3 feet of burger. Y'all remember that?
3 feet. Good Lord.
Oh, it's stupid. Yeah, it's dumb. I think that was your exact reaction last year too. Well, the boomstick is now a boomstick burrito. How about a 26-inch flour tortilla? So the size of a wheel on an Escalade, filled with rice, beans, taco meat, Rico's nacho cheese, pico de gallo, lettuce, sour cream. They have smoked wings, so that's fun.
In the burrito?
You can order them separately, and then most likely just put them in yourself.
You know what, Josh? In lieu of Panda Express not making our burrito that we wish, I will gladly substitute it for that.
Okay.
If given the opportunity. Whichever comes first.
Johnny, I'm about to say something that is cursed, but because it's cursed, this has to be an alternate.
Okay.
Lobster nachos?
No. Absolutely not. That sounds like an awful idea.
Yeah, that's why I suggested it. And they are going to be in section, and for those of you who are local, section 106 in Globe Life Field, go there. Lobster mac and cheese, lobster roll, and lobster nachos.
Well, now lobster mac and cheese and lobster roll, I'm good with that. I like lobster. Here's the thing, but on nachos, that seems weird.
That's the thing. You have the lobster there anyway.
Might as well put it on nachos.
Exactly. Damn, now you're thinking. But we have plenty.
It's like putting caviar on a paper plate. Like, what are you doing?
Well, you don't want to use metal because it's going to be reactive to the fish.
No, I mean like putting lobster on a chip. You can't. No.
Listen, it's a sea bug, all right? Rich people made it fancy on purpose. A sea bug. Shrimp nachos. There's a lot of shrimp nachos down here. It's the same thing. But that's not the only ballpark in the country. Turns out. There's plenty of other ballparks this year releasing their 2025 food. I got so many of them. Thank you so much to Patches O'Houlihan at Sandra 2A's on Twitter. You a big Giants fan? Big San Francisco Giants fan? You can console yourself with a 98-ounce souvenir bat of popcorn.
Oh.
Free refills.
Oh. I did not think you were going to say popcorn.
Josh, I'm sure the Giants fans are going to be extra responsible with their 98-ounce bat that they're being handed.
Yes,
I'm sure they'll be
really,
perfectly fine. That's not an issue.
Nothing else will go in the
thing,
bat.
No.
I can see the seam. I can see the seam on it. This does not look sturdy. It almost seems like they designed it to break if anything but popcorn is either placed in.
Okay, smart.
Or if it is used for anything.
Way
other
to
than a
know your
popcorn
audience,
for
San
popcorn.
Francisco.
Yeah.
Way to know your
that's
audience.
smart.
You can see the seam on it.
Okay,
from
good.
the plastic molding. I'm like,
Okay,
oh, there's
good.
no way this thing is lasting. Hey, no. It's also that's $22.59 if you want to go to San Francisco.
Okay.
Phillies, and that's a
Something
deep,
cheesesteak?
kind of cheese queso, s'mores quesadilla.
Oh.
Nutella, mini marshmallows, and graham cracker crumble in a crispy flour tortilla served with chocolate dipping sauce. See?
That's
$12.
That's a yes. Honestly, not a bad price either.
It's not.
I mean,
No,
everything's
for
a
a
bad price,
ballpark?
but relatively speaking.
Royals.
Yeah.
Blue velvet whoopie pie.
Oh,
You were expecting red velvets, but blue velvet whoopie pie. It's just with blue food coloring. It's fine.
Doesn't seem
looks
as
good.
appetizing.
Hey, Dallas's younger brother Houston, at the Astro games, they got the Daddy Mac dog, foot long Angus beef frank, chopped brisket, mac and cheese, barbecue sauce, and crispy dill pickles.
okay.
Put you right to sleep.
$16.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, I'm yes.
I'll get it. Darn it, I'll get it once.
Yeah,
Not
right.
bad, man. Not bad.
The White Sox.
By the way,
a milkshake.
unironically, my goal is to actually go to a White Sox game this year, and I'm being dead serious because I'm trying to get to all 30 major league ballparks. It's not the closest, but I've got a brother in Chicago, Austin. Shout out. So I may be
Aaron, I
signing
want to
him
go
up for
too.
that.
I
All
want to
right.
wear a bag on my head. I've never gotten a chance to.
Yeah, it's just like the White Sox. Just put out. Apparently, they do really good milkshakes. That's what they're.
Yes,
that's, what they
that's
do.
true.
So they put a new one out, Celebration Cake Milkshake. That's
Yeah.
new for this season.
Because their Sunday last year that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. It looks more restrained this year, and I think that's fair. I think that's earned.
Yes.
Um,
It's yes.
Actually, I would say any fan that shows up deserves more.
Oh, I see
But-
what you're saying. It's a good counter. Hey, you're here. We're sorry. We as
Yes,
the-
exactly.
we
Please
as the food
apologize
vendors-
to these fans.
We as the food vendors cannot control the on-the-field outcome, but darn it if we can't make the most extravagant milkshake to drown your sorrows in.
Well, and I would say there's a
Exactly.
line you
Go
have to
big and
hit
hide your face.
between we're
There it
sorry but you also don't want to be overtly happy. It's a tough line you got to walk.
You can't be
Between an apology, right. Yeah.
Basically, it's quantity. You need quantity
quantity.
for it to
Lots-
just be like an apology and not happy.
lots of
just quantity.
lots of all rights. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of bright
amount of
colors.
good
No
pizza.
sprinkles.
Correct. Absolutely no sprinkles. Not until you
No
hit my 55
sprinkles.
games mark that I've got.
It's got sprinkles on the rim, like you would like
Oh,
salt a
no.
margarita.
No.
No.
It's just on. You
I
can
don't
ask
know
for them to
about
be
that.
removed.
Nope. If
They
you're a
should
White
be
Sox fan,
removed.
Topped,
you should.
it's
Yes.
topped with whipped cream, 3 cubes of birthday cake, and a cherry.
What color? Cherry, nope. Cherry's out. Whipped cream's fine.
Cherry's out. It's got 3 little cake pieces on it. It's cute.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cake pieces are fine.
Did I
Just
see
no cherry.
125,
No
Josh?
sprinkles.
Is that the anniversary we're celebrating?
Yes, it is.
All
I was
right.
gonna say it's got to be more
125.
calories than that.
Oh yeah.
gotta be
One of
more
those
than 125
one of those
and
cake
it's-
cubes is
it's
probably
125
125
years worth of calories.
Oh, there you
Yeah, it stays in your stomach for 125.
go. Yeah.
Hey, you got that pit in your stomach this time in the year when you remember you're a White Sox fan? We'll have a bunch of ice cream to fill that pit. That's
Poor
how
White
I'm
Sox
feeling.
fans. If you're a White Sox fan out there, reach out. Like we love you.
Not
We
to
support
us,
you.
to a professional.
Don't-
more
not
than
to-
your team.
Yeah, no,
more than
we're
your
not
team
equipped.
does. We
will
love and
only make
appreciate
jokes.
you more than your own team does.
Yes.
Like, yeah, please,
Truly.
please get help.
Yeah.
I will make sure you get the correct pin for however long you have been a.
Oh, that's I
Season ticket
forgot
holder.
about that. Yeah, you're right, Josh.
They can truly, when we say they're known for their milkshakes. Their milkshakes are the things that actually haven't failed yet in their 125 years.
That and blackouts
no.
in their own stadium.
Yes.
Yes.
That's never failed.
Potentially bullets.
Actually, bullets.
That
Aaron,
story.
you've been to PNC Park.
I have. Great
Took you there
experience.
for a great experience.
Yeah.
Minus the team, and
No, that's okay. I wasn't there for them.
it's fine.
Yeah.
We never are. No one ever is.
No.
Hey, that's all right.
Great
Paul
skyline
Skeens is
view.
going to start 162 games this year. He's ready.
You know who else is gonna? Ooh, I don't know if have this after the 7th inning stretch or way before the 7th inning stretch.
Okay.
If you catch my drift.
Mhm.
New at the Pirates this season, the Polish Cannonball,
Oh. Oh.
egg noodles, kielbasa, cabbage, bacon, cheddar cheese, deep fried with an
Oh, no.
herb crema dip.
No, this is my
It's
first.
a ball.
This is my first no.
Yeah, it's a ball. Yeah, the cannonball. So this is a battered deep fried collection of the things I just said.
Yeah, they tried to keep it fairly Polish. The cabbage, especially.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Polish people over in that part of the country.
That's
Good
true.
Paczkis.
Yep.
And let's see, one more. You know what? I'm gonna give a. Why is that green?
Oh no.
I was just gonna go. There's like a AAA team that like put their thing in on
Oh.
this thread, and I'm
Okay.
like, oh, I'll give them their dues because
Yeah.
I would love to go to a AAA team.
Yep.
And then the Mariners revealed their new food season, including the Cal Raleigh Little Dumpers. That's what it's called. Grow up. And
And it's green?
no, those are just dumplings.
Oh.
But they wouldn't call them dumplers because that somehow sounds worse.
Yeah, it does.
It's you're backing yourselves into a corner. Or the Mariners Blue, what's up, corn dog? And I don't know what it's coded in, and I don't want to know
Oh,
what it's
no.
coded in. It's
Nope.
Nope.
It's a no from me.
what is it coded with like that like powder, like candy powder dipping stuff that you would get.
Doesn't matter. It could be the most appetizing thing in the planet. I'm not.
I don't-
Nope.
I don't
Looks wrong.
can't sorry, the comments. Don't I can't read them. But a lot of people are having fun with little dumpers.
We'll put that on the Patreon that doesn't exist. We'll just read the
Exactly.
comments to you. That will be on the Patreon. Wow.
Winston the Winston-Salem Dash,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
IA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
Again, sorry.
Right.
But go to a Dash game.
Mhm.
They got
They're
the
probably better than the White Sox.
go to Truist Stadium, Truist. My bad. Truist is down here. Truist Stadium, and you can get the Dash Delights. They have some standard fare. I see deep fried pickles. I see what looks like maybe a muffalata. They have some sort of like patty melt style thing, walking nachos, loaded baked potatoes, all that stuff. How about a deep fried Uncrustable?
No way.
Oh.
No way.
Right?
Oh.
Oh.
I go with
Oh.
that. I go for that.
Oh man. Yes, please.
Good
So-
shout out, Josh. Good
Yeah.
Yeah,
shout out.
that's great.
I
Speaking
could do this
of,
for another hour.
I've actually got a
'cause, yeah,
couple
I'm
more
trying
to
tease
add to that real quick
Oh,
before
yeah.
you go, Johnny. Only because I'm
Okay.
actually going to
That
Reds
segue
opening
was gonna
day.
be perfect,
I'm
though.
sorry, Johnny. I know I ruined that.
oh,
Make your segue, and then we'll just
Unsegue.
Well,
Yeah, make your segue, Johnny.
Eddie,
I won't
yeah.
ruin it. Make your segue. Then we'll interrupt you.
speaking of dashing food. Go ahead, Aaron.
oh, that's so good.
That is good. I'm going to Reds opening day on Thursday, and there's a couple. The Reds also released their food for the year. Their kind of fun extra stuff. So I'm debating between their big mozzarella chicken parm sandwich because you get crispy chicken tenders, Mozzarella sticks topped with provolone cheese, marinara sauce, and banana peppers served on a hoagie bun. So that sounds good. Also, I'm debating about the 50 West soft pretzel double cheeseburger. According to this article, it's saying bringing Cincinnati back to its German roots with a German-like double cheeseburger, double smash burger with American cheese, Funacho cheese, I'm sure I'm butchering that pronunciation, and house mustard on a pretzel bun served with a side of crinkle cut fries. Now, that one's only offered until April 30th, so that may be the one I'm going to grab. But anyways, that's my Reds. They also have some interesting, like, they've got a Montgomery Inn barbecue walking taco. That's a big deal if you're in Cincinnati. That's kind of a staple there. With Grippos, so it's a whole thing. But I'm about to eat way too much food on Thursday. Looking forward to that. Johnny, that probably didn't help your segue at all, but it's over to you, my man.
It's okay. We're staying on the food topic today. Clearly, we're all hungry. Maybe haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yep. Nope.
Mine is more just a like, are you okay? To all of America. Are you okay? No. The answer is clearly no. One, because of the morning routine that we mentioned at the beginning, and two, because DoorDash and Klarna have signed a deal where customers can now choose to pay for food deliveries in interest-free installments or deferred options aligned with payday schedules. If you're not familiar with Klarna, it's probably started to pop up on some of the things that you pay for online. Yeah, and it's a good thing. But maybe when you're checking out, making a purchase online, it's saying, hey, would you like to buy this in 4 payments instead that are interest-free? Like, I don't know the ins and outs of them, but basically they've been there. They're trying to do that. But they've signed a deal. Let me tell you, one, don't DoorDash. It is an Uber for your food, a private Uber for your burrito. Are you not leaving the house at all that day? Like, not at all. You can't pick up food at some point. Please, for the most part, except on rare occurrences, do not DoorDash food to begin with.
Yeah, like when they give you $30 off, which they do every like 6 months.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, Josh. 2, if you need to take the payment option for your DoorDash because it's that expensive and you do it that often, like our White Sox friends, seek professional help. You need it. You need it because that's crazy. Listen, I know DoorDash is a ridiculous price, which is why I'm telling you just don't do it. But we're still talking like $20, right? Like installments. Like, what are you paying, like $4 a month? Like, what's going on here? What are people paying on DoorDash? Like, what's going on? Is it the same guy from the morning routine ordering DoorDash? Like, what? Unlimited funds? I don't even understand what's going on.
That guy's doing things you can't even believe.
Don't take a loan out for a private taxi for your burrito. Just say that out loud. And how insane that sounds. It might save you from Klarna's payment system with DoorDash. It is you taking out a loan for a private taxi for your burrito to be delivered to you.
First, you're going to go on a date with someone, and they're not going to be impressed when the loan sharks come and take you away for defaulting on your McDonald's that you haven't paid in 6 months. You think it's embarrassing when they repo your car?
You get thrown in jail.
They're gonna repo your pizza.
Repo your pizza.
Also, great band name, by the way, Josh. Repo Your Pizza. That goes. That's
insane. Oh, that is a great. That is crazy. Yeah. This is madness. It's madness. It shouldn't be an option. It's against the public good. To have the option at all, if you can't pay it, you shouldn't order it.
You should, well, no, but you gotta you eat a bag of ramen or something. I don't know.
It's not the cheapest option. You can't say, well, I'm short on cash all the time. Well, then don't DoorDash.
Really? Stop DoorDashing.
Stop DoorDashing.
We're becoming Dave Ramsey.
Oh my god!
And there's also like for bang for your buck, there's so many better ways to spend. For $12.99, you can probably get like, I don't know.
You know
like
what, Josh?
5 for $5 at Wendy's.
I do take it back a little bit though.
Oh, sorry.
If you DoorDash from Shake Shack, that's probably $80. So that maybe $20 a pop for those interest-free payments. So
absolutely,
unless it's Shake Shack,
yeah.
Also, just don't go to Shake Shack. It's ridiculous.
There's one down the road. I've not gone to it because why? I'm not in LA. And it's just an inefficient use of money because again, like for $13, like say I have $13 in my wallet as a hypothetical in crypto or something, and I need to get rid of it. I can spend like $5
in your wallet.
In my crypto wallet, yes. And I have to spend it on food. I can spend like the 5 for $5 at Wendy's and then the rest of the fees, like $7 in fees and taxes and delivery, and I can get a really mid-cold wet burger. Or I can go to Citi Field and for that same $12.99, I can get a helmet of 12 hot dogs.
That's right.
Way to bring it back, Josh.
That's right.
Way to bring it back. That's how we're ending that segment.
Yep.
That's awesome. If that's not the best argument, I don't know what is.
I don't either. Yep. Well, listen, we've got more.
One counter.
Sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Sorry, one counter. The Yankees will also be doing helmets filled with tiramisu.
Oh.
Go to the Mets.
Go to the Mets.
Go to both.
That's too elitist of me. For me. Go get those hot dogs. This is baseball.
It doesn't look great coming out of a helmet.
No,
I'll be honest,
you're right. It doesn't.
But,
nope. Go get those hot dogs at the Mets game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that our action statement?
Action statement is just eat a hot dog in general.
Oh, yeah.
Ideally at a ballpark because it is, opening weekend. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone. I
Watch
understand.
on
It's also
TV.
there's basketball on. Like not everyone can make it to the ballpark on opening weekend. It's usually more expensive.
You know
Like,
what? Your call
totally
to action
get
is
that.
still eat 12 hot dogs in a sitting.
There you go.
Yeah.
12
with the
hot
game
dogs.
on.
Yeah.
With a game on, yes.
Yep. And if you're
Some
asking
sort of
yourself,
game.
why would I do this? The answer is you're just preparing yourself for the Nugget Challenge in a month. Well, actually, that's like 3 months away because that has to be NBA Finals. But anyways, listeners, viewers, thanks for being here. We appreciate you as always. We thank you for your support of this show. So thanks for checking us out every week. Enjoy the basketball, the baseball, whatever else you got going on this week. I hope it's a good one. We will talk to you all next week. Have a good one.